Welcome to the Powerful Komiksman podcast. This is Jerald Dorado, and we are back for the 40 Life Wisdom at 40. We are at number 13 today. But before we continue, let me just tell you about our little online pastry shop called Miucha Lux Cakes. Okay, so Miucha Lux Cakes, that is our vegan uh, pastry shop. We have cakes, donuts, cookies, um, wedding cakes even, and lots of other surprises that are really awesome, really delicious, and all vegan. So check it out at hello.miucha on Facebook and Instagram. All right, so that's at HELLO.MIUCCIA. Okay, so with that said, we are now at number 13 on our 40 Life Wisdom at 40 series. Uh, okay, so at number 13, are you ready for this? You poop in a clean toilet. Okay, so that is actually a realization that you think that's just a silly phrase, pooping in a clean toilet with clean water. But if you're really gonna think about it, think hard and what that actually means. If you again first to have a toilet, you need plumbing, diba? And it they say that there was an ancient civilization that used to have plumbing, but then again it got lost, diba? It got lost. I think it was the Etruscans, or I don't know. Maybe it's probably not some obscure ancient civilization that was really lost and has very few uh, evidences of its existence. I think the Romans had the had the closest. They had sewers and they had aqueducts, and they were able to get water in their city from faraway places, water sources. But after that, it was lost. You mean the castles of the kings and queens? They did not have showers, diba? They did not have tap water, no matter how rich they were. The kings and queens of England, they did not have tap water. They had wells. They had servants that take it take the water in buckets and deliver it to them. Diba? They would have to reuse bath water. Diba? Even the richest and most powerful people in history, even in modern times, relatively modern times. Let's say John D. Rockefeller, diba? That's the one of the most one of the wealthiest men in history. Carnegie, diba? Mga ganyan, or any modern Victorian era royalty. They did not have toilets with water. If they pooped, they had to pick up the poop. 'Di ba? 'Di ba kailangan lang dakutin 'yon, o kailangan may pangsalo sila, mayroon silang arenola or they have I don't know, they poop in paper, and after that, that's not where it ends. They would have to find a place to take that paper or arenola, 'di ba? I don't know. Kung nasa probinsya ka, madali lang 'yun kasi you would just throw it in the backyard or just dig a hole and put it there. But if you were in the city, medyo problemado 'yun. Saan mo ilalagay 'yun? 'Di ba? May mga may mga paved streets na noon. Sa mo dadalhin. That's why we had a great stink of London back then kasi they did not have sewage systems. 'Di ba? Wala silang Poso Negro. And it stunk. Hindi nila alam and of course nagkasakit. Pero that's I digress already. You get my point. But compared to you and I and everybody else in the modern world that is not war torn, that has a working economy, kahit maliit pa yan, don't need to be in a first world country to have and afford comfort rooms with clean water. 'Di ba? To poop on. 'Di ba? It's just the water. 'Di ba? You know how hard it is to to get water even if you live in a rainforest. It's still hard to collect water. I don't even know now that I've thought about that. I was thinking about it earlier before coming to this recording while walking my dog. Kasi uh, I live in the Philippines. Most of my listeners were from the Philippines. And I lived in a place where rivers are near. There's coconuts and well, you can dig wells. Siguro if you can dig 3 meters or 2 to 3 meters down to the ground, I think you're gonna get a well, a spring. Kasi we live along Sierra Madre at the foot of Mount Banahaw. And I'm not sure if Banahaw is part of Sierra Madre, although I think it is. I may be wrong. But even though ganun yung you will still need to dig. 'Di ba? And even if you can get the water, you can get a spring, you can dig up a well, you will still need to alam mo yun, kailangan mong kunin yun, 'di ba? You will need a pail. It's still not convenient. It's not it it's not it's night and day compared to just twisting the knob of a faucet. Diba? And you would need to guard it yung well mo para hindi ma-contaminate. Alam mo yun, maybe there would be vandals or maybe a dog or alam mo yun, would poop or frogs. Alam mo yun, that could contaminate your water source and make you sick, you and your family. So that's gonna suck. And the sad thing, it is unfortunate that that is the reality to a lot of people all across the world. Diba? Actually, swerte ka pa nga if you can have a well that is alam mo yun, within a short walking distance from your house. If you even have a house. There are there are places in the world na for miles and miles, kilometers after kilometers, there would be only one well where they can get water for their families and their livestock. Ang swerte pa rin yun actually. Kasi in some places, that well will be guarded by, I don't know, a warlord or a gang who would force you, who would, I don't know kung ginagawa ng, would kill you pag hindi nila nagustuhan, and extort you. And that is a reality that is the kind of privilege that we usually do not realize when you poop in clean water. And I suppose the life lesson for this episode is that do not get disconnected with reality. Diba? That the world that you're living in right now is very different from what it used to be. Just a few years ago, just a few decades ago, just the last century. Kasi right now, I live in a world where I have computers, I have cell phone, I have mobile data. I am fortunate enough to afford them. I live in a house with walls and roofs, with air conditioning, and alam mo yun, I can basically produce and do live TV, live radio at home and broadcast it to the rest of the world. But just a few years ago, that's not possible, diba? 10 years ago, it's not possible. Wala pang Facebook Live noon, konti pa lang yung sobrang complicated pa mag-stream. Wala pang OBS. Hindi ko alam kung kailan nagsimula yung OBS eh. May live stream na pero hindi pa kasing pulido nung ngayon. And wala pang mobile, wala pang social media. In the last in the early 2000s, wala pa namang social media eh. Wala pang computers. And then there are people, imagine being born today, 2021. You're gonna be born in a world where everything is here, diba? And definitely more amazing things are yet to come. But alam mo yun, that you can do everything in apps. You can order food, you can order a ride, you can have anything delivered, not just from your local neighborhood stores, but from anywhere in the world, literally. And I think I'm fortunate enough to live in a world na wala pang computers. When I was a kid, may computer na, pero it's not the same computers that we have in 2021. We did not have the internet back then. We had computers lang. And those are, you know yan, very, very feeble. Sobrang hina pa ng mga computers noon. Pagtatawanan lang siya ng mga computers ngayon. And that's fine. I'm not saying it's better, but I'm glad that inabutan ko yung era na yun. And I'm also glad that I'm able to witness the history develop of how technology started and eventually conquered the world. But then again, if I'm gonna go back even farther, um, I could have kasi yung technology sa amin dati was television. Parang I thought parang madali nang madaling isipin na parang there have always been TV in the world. Pero I think back in the 70s, medyo, especially sa Pilipinas, konti pa rin lang yung may TV eh. Lalo na yung 60s. In the US, 50s ata, konti pa lang may TV sa kanila. I don't know. I'm not sure how accurate my history is about that. Pero before the TV, they had the radio. That was their social media back then. Yung innovation for mass communication. And alam mo yun, hindi lang yun eh. Parang it's, for me, it's hard to imagine parang I take for granted, let's say, roads. Parang feeling mo, lagi nang may roads dyan. But then again, if you're gonna go out, you don't even know kung how many years you would need to go back. Definitely not a century, 'di ba? Before, how long ago before yung kalsada sa harapan nyo ay nagkasemento. That yung bahay yung lugar na tinitirikan ng bahay nyo, ano yung nakatayo doon before. Diba? It used to be a vacant lot. Maybe there's a tree in alam mo yun, standing in where your room is right now. And but you don't really think about that. You just always think that your house had always been there, especially if it's an ancestral house na dun talaga kayo lumaki, dun ka pinanganak. And that is also, kumbaga, what I'm trying to say is, ang short-sighted or very limited, I think that is more accurate, very limited ang perception natin to reality, na parang we tend to disregard yung, we don't even attempt to think about these things most of the time. We don't even realize na ganun pala. Kasi if we continue not realizing, disregarding these things, then we are in danger of getting disconnected from reality. Na parang, if you think, let's say the kids right now, they are born na dinideliver yung pagkain, they would think, maari lang naman, di ba? They might think that, or some of them might think that has always been the way, di ba? You would fail to realize that the food they are delivering came from somewhere. That, alam mo yun, nanggaling yan, let's say, from sa palengke, di ba? Or dun sa restaurant muna. Then yung restaurant, sa nanggaling yung niluto nila sa palengke. And then yung palengke, saan nanggaling yan? Sa farm. Dun sa muna sa mga ano mo, sa ano pa lang muna, sa mga nagbibiyahe. Yun. Sa mga broker ng mga gulay, may mga ganun eh. And then I don't know, saan pa nanggaling yun? Sa farm na. And it had to be alam mo yun, it had to be planted and taken care of by a farmer, and so on and so forth. At hindi lang yun yung ano, hindi lang isang ano yan, hindi lang isang farmer. Yung mga bawat ingredient niyan, from let's say you're eating Jollibee spaghetti. Kunyari, 'di ba? So, yung ingredients for the noodles, magkakaiba yan. Yung flour, baka galing pa sa ibang bansa. 'Di ba? And yung meat and sauce, tomato, at kung ano-ano pa na nakahalo dun sa Jollibee spaghetti, yung cheese, those came from different parts of probably the world. Many different locations, many different farmers, many different workers. Lahat yan, they had to do things that would coordinate and be organized para maging Jollibee spaghetti yan na dinideliver sa'yo. And also, yung sasakyan nung, alam mo yun, yung sasakyan nung nag-deliver sa'yo, kasama pa yon. Yung sasakyan kasi, hindi madami pang components yun, di ba? So, from the rubber, from the engine, somebody had to mine the metals, mine the fuel. You get the idea. So if you fail to see the connection, dun pa lang hindi mo na ma-realize, then you would fail to understand pa lalo yung mga taong involved, di ba? Or at least there's a little bit more, you are more prone to not understanding I don't know, maybe how things work. So it is, I think it is important na maisip pa rin natin yung mga ganitong bagay, and we play this inside our heads, and reconnect ourselves in how we are connected. Hindi na lang dito sa buong mundo. Everything is connected. Pero alam mo yun, we have known that since Pocahontas, na everything is connected. Pero right now, parang you would think kasi everything is connected is only natural. It's not anymore. Even the man-made stuff are still connected. Which, by the way, lahat naman ng raw materials na ginamit dito sa mga modern shit natin ngayon came from nature. Wala namang ginawa dyan out of magic. Lahat naman yan nanggaling din from natural sources. So, it's still Pocahontas, my friends. And we need to realize that now, or else we will get disconnected from reality, just as the people who are disconnected in nature, let's say sa Pocahontas na nga, di ba, na they were disconnected, not realizing na hindi nila naiintindihan yung, alam mo yun, sina Pocahontas. Si Pocahontas talaga eh, no? They're not understanding the other people because of their limited perspective on things. That would be the same thing that would happen if we do not apply and realize that after a hefty, lavish, and delicious meal you have, a few hours later, you will have the luxury of having your ass sitting down in a clean toilet with clean water, and you're gonna drop your shit in that clean water where a lot more other people would would sacrifice a lot from getting, and you're just dropping shit and flushing it down without even realizing how privileged you are, how lucky you are to be living. And it's not a guilt trip, okay? Ah? I'm just clarifying it. It's just the way it is. Innovation is good. Pero what I'm saying is, if you uh, if you don't realize that na there is connection, that there is I don't know, there is value, there is something that's a natural order. I don't know. I'm not even sure what I'm saying anymore, but there is something profound that we are more advanced. It's not our fault that we live in this era, or that we are live in your present conditions, or you have worked your ass para maging nandito ka sa sa situation mo ngayon, where comfort is much more easier to achieve. I don't know. Maybe I do not have a conclusion, but I think realizing that is enough for now. Yeah, I'm gonna settle with that. Just to ground ourselves with reality. Okay, so that is episode 13 with your poop in the toilet. And I hope you get a happy poop for the rest of your lives, to those who listen to this. Okay, that's it. Powerful Comics Man podcast.